Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Round 30 of the 2022 NASCAR Platinum Cup Series is here, and it's the Rockstar 400 at Richmond International Raceway. 20 drivers are rocking and rolling. We've already got a few drivers off the racetrack and done for the day. That includes playoff drivers like Emily Sari in the 11 and Charles Jackson in the 1. Your race leader right now is Aaron Garcia in the 24 car. He won the race earlier tonight at Chicagoland Speedway. He's the only driver locked in to the next round in the round of 12. Playoff drivers Matt Smith, Josh Cole-Diaz, Landon Jenkins, and Jeffrey Robinson Jr. having strong runs up there in the top 5, along with more playoff drivers like Trey Hollywood and Beam SKP running 6th and 7th, with Ghost in the 77 car spoiling the party amongst the non-playoff runners. I am NASCAR CEO and founder Tyler McMurder, along with my in-race reporter, driver of the number 17 Ford Mustang, and that is Alex Tesdall, Triple Crown winner here in NASCAR. Alex, you missed out on stage points in stage 1. Oh, and now we've got a crash over in turn 3. Alex Tesdall, Pablo Hugo, the 95 of Aiden Cody, Rush Downing in the 34, and we've got a caution on the racetrack. First one of the day for an on-track incident. We're here in stage 2. Wow, and we'll throw it down now to Alex Tesdall. Alex, we were throwing it over to you at the worst possible time. You were right in the middle of 4 wide there and didn't go too good. Didn't go your way, that's for sure. What happened there?
The 20 just threw a wild block on me and caused all that. That's literally all there is to it.
And getting word, Quentin Frentz getting word to his spotter that every time the 17 tries to make it 3 or 4 wide, he's going to block. That's the response there. And it's a 4 or 5 car crash, heavy damage to the front end of a lot of these machines, including playoff drivers. Now some pit strategy has been deployed, and it looks like it's going to be Machiavelli Ross, and that is Ghost in the 77 car, leading them to the line, and he'll be your race leader. Landon Jenkins in the 88 car, running in second, still looking for that very first Platinum Cup Series win. He's come so close so many times this year, and now we're 3 wide for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Love coming to Richmond, especially here for the NASCAR Platinum Cup Series drivers. These drivers really enjoy it as well, and a couple of drivers went up and into the outside wall in 3 and 4 there, and it's going to draw a caution again. This time it was Harold Burden in the 16 and Alex Tesdall in the 17, but I think it was separate incidents. Again, we're going to throw it down to Alex and ask him what happened there.
Got set by the 20.
Minor damage to the front end of the 17 and the 95. 95 might have actually gotten through that. It might just be damage to the 21, 16, and the 17. Caution number 2 for an on-track incident. Rush Downing was able to work his way through that one in the 34 car. And now this time in the shakeup, it's going to be Pablo Hugo in the 46. The 14 of Beam SKP is right there on the outside of the front row with them. The green flag is back in the air. 2 drivers out of Europe there, Spain and France, represented on the front row for this restart, but they do have slightly older tires. The 48 car went well below the yellow line, got loose, gave a bunch of those positions back, and this is a wild restart so far. And Beam SKP is going to escape with the lead here. And the number 14 Ford Mustang for Steel Horse Motorsports. Remember, he is our Daytona 500 winner this year, and he's got his sights set on a 2nd career Platinum Cup Series win. 3 and 4 wide, deeper in the field. Landon Jenkins was the one who forced it 3 wide, and Alex Tesdall went up and ventured into the outside line once there was room. Harold Burden drove into the back of him, getting into turn 1 there. Up the hill went the 17 car. He found the outside wall. And now the 48 car has sent the 17 into the wall. And that's a penalty. So 2 penalties in the early going here. Trenton Krentz and Trey Hollywood for aggressive driving, and those drivers will need to burn those laps as the race goes along. Can't say enough about Machiavelli Ross, though, in the 77 car. Led a couple of laps earlier in this race. Right now struggling with about 3-4 lap older tires than the rest of the field. So you see him dropping down the running order so far. But you got to try something sometimes. You're not going to go up there and get a top 5 finish by doing what everybody else is doing. Yeah, I'm sure he says his bad. It was his bad. They're still 2 and 3 wide, bouncing off each other a little bit there. The 88, 46, the 77, they all worked it back out to 2x2. Ooh, and now Pablo drove a little bit too hard into turns 1 and 2 and smacked the outside wall a little bit, and he's going to keep on rolling, but he's in danger of losing a position now to Machiavelli Ross, who's just now getting to the inside. This is through 3 and 4. So many different lines you can take here at Richmond Raceway. And the leaders are going to be coming around here in your frame in just a moment. We're kind of giving you an idea on where everybody is running in relation to each other on the track. There they go. Aaron Garcia, Matt Smith, Josh Colm-Diaz, Jeffrey Robinson Jr., and Beam SKP, your top 5. And then it's a huge group from about 6th on back. You can throw a blanket on top of all of them, and here it is. Oh, Aiden Cody give a shot to the 17 of Alex Tesdall. Pablo Hugo in the 46 car right behind both of these drivers. Landon Jenkins in the 88 was able to escape this hornet's nest and leave Harold Burden and Machiavelli Ross to go at it. And can you tell it's the playoffs? It's definitely a postseason field race here. A lot of usage out of the front bumpers for a lot of these drivers, a little more than maybe there should be, especially here in Stage 2. So many laps to go in this race, and you're really only racing for a stage win and stage points at this juncture. And even Cody, a great save for him, chased that car all the way down to the inside wall on the back straightaway, no contact. Alex Tesdall, one of our playoff drivers, working back to the inside of Pablo Hugo. Pablo looks like is really struggling with the handling of that race car. I think if Alex can get clear, he might be able to drive away. Harold Burden has driven away. He was involved in this big hornet's nest I kept referring it to. And much like Landon Jenkins, he's been able to break free of it and kind of get some breathing room. He's not being hounded for his position at this time and kind of set his sights on the cars in front of him. And there's been a lead change while we see Rush Downing in the 34 recovering down in the grass area on the front stretch. He's rolling again. But there's been a lead change, folks. We should document that. Aaron Garcia in the 24, Matt Smith in the 47. They have both worked their way around the Frenchman, Beam SKP. Remember, Beam was on a bit of a different strategy, slightly older tires, and Beam, as a result, has dropped back to the 5th place position. And he's left Aaron and Matt to battle for the lead and for the win. Earlier this season, Aaron Garcia in the 24 did a bump and run move on Matt Smith to pick up the win here. And I don't think Matt has forgotten. In fact, Matt used the exact same bump and run move at Atlanta to park in the victory lane not too long ago, just a couple of weeks ago, and he made reference to the Richmond race afterwards in the victory lane interview and after we went off the air. So he's not forgotten about the Richmond race from earlier this year. Matt Smith, Aaron Garcia, Josh Colm-Diaz, Jeffrey Robinson Jr. and Beam SKP are top 5 here in Stage 2. It's round 30 of the 2022 NASCAR Platinum Cup Series season, hosted here on NASCAR Heat 5. It's our 7th season. And second race in the round of 16. More importantly, a lot of these drivers coming into this race with the goal and the mindset to go on out here, get top 10s in the stages, get a top 5 at the end of the race, get maximum amount of points that you can out of the day. And of course a win would lock you into the round of 12. Jenkins runs in 6th. Harold Burden in 16, scored in 7th. Trenton Krentz missed the race at Chicagoland. He runs in 8th. Trey Hollywood scored in 9th. He just had a big moment over there on the front straightaway. A big save out of him. Aiden Cody in the 95 car is the one that rounds out the top 10 in the black and red Toyota, coming into your frame once in a while there. Machiavelli Ross on the 77 car scored in 11th, with Pablo Hugo running 12th. Alex Tesdall scored in 13th. Just to give you a bit of an update on where some of your favorite drivers are running. Timmy Brown 14th, Sean Lucas on the 21 15th. They're both playoff drivers, and they're in danger of going a lap down to your race leader Matt Smith. They're only about a half a straightaway in front of him. Well, it's even less actually. Might have even misjudged it the first time I looked, because now, yeah, folks, it's about 6 car lengths separating the race leader from 2 playoff contenders that came into today looking for a big points day. And it's important to note here that while the leaders were battling amongst each other, Josh Colombiez, your 2021 NASCAR Legend Series champion, he closed in a little bit. The gap shrunk down, but I don't know if it's going to continue to go that way. The front 2 have now gotten separated in single file. They're no longer battling amongst each other. But capitalizing while he could with Josh Colombiez gaining some ground on the front 2. And if a caution comes out, it's going to change the complexion of the stage completely here. And when it comes to strategies and when it comes to the number of laps here in Stage 2 and everything like that, we're going to throw it down now to in-race reporter Alex Tesdall to get a better idea on what these drivers are going through at this juncture in Stage 2. Alex, how many laps to go? And do we expect green flag pit stops?
We have 39 to go, and as of now we're a couple laps short. I don't know if it can be saved or not. We'll have to see.
And if it's only a couple of laps, somebody is bound to try it. And usually we have our eyes pointed right at Harold Burden when it comes to strategies like this. There you see him in the number 16 car running inside the top 10 as of right now. We'll keep our eye on him. Thank you to Alex Tesdall for the valuable information, and it's something we're going to need to keep note of as this stage goes along. Some of these drivers, they might go for it. They might try to stretch the fuel and tires a couple of extra laps to get it to go that entire distance. And some of them might decide, you know what, not going to make it. I'm going to short pit and take tires now. Try to undercut some of the drivers who do decide to go for it. Can't say enough about Landon Jenkins in the number 88 car. He's battling a loose race car right now. You can tell, especially when he came out of turn 2, chased the car all the way down below the yellow line on the back straightaway, and he is rolling again, running in 6th. And one of our most successful drivers this season that has not been able to find victory lane. He's come so close so many times. Even earlier tonight at Chicagoland, he had a good chance to park in a victory lane for that one. Here he is running in the top 10 within striking distance of the race leaders. And we're still only working Stage 2, so we've got plenty of time to get back up there and in contention to win this thing. Right now he's focusing on those stage points. The top 10, they get those stage points.
95's on pit road.
And hearing from in-race reporter Alex Tesdall, Aiden Cody in the 95 car is going to surrender a top 10 spot temporarily and bring that number 95 Juicy J Motorsports Toyota to pit road for service. And it's just a clear sign that he could not make it the entire distance on the fuel and tires he had. Might have had a little bit of damage he wanted to tend to, and brings it to pit road now. The only problem here for him is if you pit now and a caution comes out, you're going to be stuck 1 or 2 laps down. Richmond is a 3/4 of a mile oval. It's very short, 20-second lap times here. Doesn't take long to go a lap down. Fresh Downing in the 34 car, non-playoff driver on pit road as well. Finished 18th in the regular season standings, missed the playoffs by just that much. And now Aiden Cody in the 95 leaves pit road and rejoins the racing surface, and he's going to feel like Superman with those 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles, but going to all equalize and flip back around on him once the rest of the field decides to come to pit road as well. The key for him now is to utilize those 4 fresh tires while he can, and we got a problem for Trey Hollywood, one of our playoff drivers. Spun at the entrance to pit road. He's got some front end damage he's going to need to repair on the pit stop now. Depending on how bad it is, he might leave it, but he didn't really get an opportunity to gauge how bad it is because he didn't get to run any green flag laps with the damage. So he'll most likely elect to repair it at this juncture as he comes to a stop in his pit stall. Alex Tesdall, this race has went from good to bad for him here in stage 2. He falls 1 lap down to your race leaders. He's currently the first car 1 lap down, and he's begging for one of those cautions. And 2 cautions in this race for on-track incident, and both of them were here in stage 2. And 20 drivers started the race, and a few of them are already off the track and done for the day. Your current race leader is Aaron Garcia in the 24 car. He just recently took the lead back from Matt Smith in the 47. Matt might be trying to lift and make it to the end of the stage on fuel and tires. Bit of an aggressive dive there by the race leader to get to the inside of Pablo Hugo in the 46 to put him 1 lap down. Pablo having a good run up there in the top 13 and made contact there with the inside wall going into turn 1, and then went up the hill coming out of the corner. And there you see him. He's got some front end damage he's going to need to repair on his pit stop here in stage 2. That's if he decides to come to pit road. As Alex mentioned, some of these drivers are possibly attempting to make it to the end of stage 2 without having to pit. It's tall order, and it's pretty much next to impossible from what we're hearing and how it's being described to us, but if there's a chance, you best believe some of the Platinum Cup drivers are going to give it a run for it, especially here in the postseason. We're all chasing Aaron Garcia in the 24. Matt Smith runs in second. Josh Colombiez in the 9 car runs in third, and there's quite the separation between them actually. They're all kind of just riding and cruising at this point, trying to take care of their equipment, and they're all doing a good job at that. Jeffrey Robinson Jr. is still the one scored in 4th. With Beam SKP, this year's Daytona 500 winner, driver out of France, right behind him in the 14 car, scored in 5th. We're riding along with Landon Jenkins in the number 88 car, running in 6th. These are all playoff drivers up in the top 6. And Trenton Krentz, another playoff driver, the 2-time NASCAR World Champion from Gran Turismo, comes off of pit road after getting service here in stage 2, so evidently he knew he could not make it the rest of the distance on fuel and tires. It's a weird format here tonight for when it comes to laps in each stage. As Alex mentioned, stage 1, 38 laps, stage 2, much longer. And there was a problem for Timmy Brown in the 19. He was slow right in front of Sean Lucas in the 21. Sean was lifting for him, had nowhere to go, and there's a couple more cars involved. Now Timmy Brown has crashed on the back straightaway, and this happened right in front of your race leader. In fact, I think Aaron in the 24, he might have a little bit of front end damage from all of this, and now Timmy's going to bring that car to pit road for service. Oh, never mind, he missed it. He was trying to bring it to pit road for service, and now one of your playoff drivers. His race has gone from good to bad here at Richmond Raceway. We do think he'll be to pit road this time by. We're going to see if we can check the front end of the race leader, Aaron Garcia. You can see it. It's pushed up a little bit at the grill area there. There is some front end damage. It's not near as bad as what I thought it was, though. And now big problems on the back straightaway again. This time it was for Rush Downing in the 34. The 24 is coming to pit road, by the way, and Rush Downing got air on the back straightaway. Machiavelli Ross had nowhere to go in the 77 car. T-bone style right in the back, the passenger side door. And now Rush is coming to pit road. An unbelievable turn of events here in stage 2. A number of playoff drivers having problems here, and this is really going to shake things up when it comes to the playoff point standings. Still a good battle for position here. Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 18, Beam SKP in the 14. This is inside the top 5. The 24 has already come to pit road for service. Your race leader is Matt Smith in the 47 car, and this is the battle for second and third. Landon Jenkins in the 88 car giving up his position to come to pit road for service. Josh Poldiez in the 9 doing the same. Timmy Brown in the 19 car finally makes it to pit road. He's going to assess the damage on that machine. And now we ride along with your two-time NASCAR Platinum Cup Series champion, Matt Smith, driver of the 47 for Lone Wolf Motorsports. That team, of course, owned by the 6-time NASCAR champion and Hall of Famer, Jordan Green. And a great day here so far for the driver of the 47. Been pretty much flawless. He's been involved in a couple of incidents, but none of his doing or causing. He's been kind of floating along and riding along in the top 5, but now here he is. Stage 2 in the closing laps. Does he have the fuel? Does he have the tires to go the entire distance? Not only win the stage, but trap a lot of cars a lap down as well. And let's throw it down to our in-race reporter, Alex Tesdall, Triple Crown winner in NASCAR. How many laps to go, buddy? And do you think that it's possible for him to make it the whole way?
We currently have 10 to go, and I think fuel's okay, but tires are going to be a concern.
Yeah, and I bet you Matt has already chewed off the nails on his hands, man. I'm telling you, he's got a sizable lead right now over Jeffrey Robinson Jr., who runs in second, but can he hold it? Does he have the tires and the fuel to make it to the end of this stage? The prediction from in-race reporter Alex Tesdall is the tires being the biggest of the two concerns. And can Jeffrey Robinson Jr. capitalize? Again, folks, he's the one running in second. Beam SKP, the Daytona 500 winner, he's the one running in third. They're both the two drivers trying to capitalize if the 47 cannot make it the entire way on tires and fuel. Jeffrey came off a strong performance earlier tonight at Chicagoland, finishing in the top 5 and winning one of the stages, starting the playoffs exactly the way he had hoped for. And looking to carry that momentum here into Richmond, the main event race here tonight. Second race in the round of 16. He knows that if he can park in a victory lane, he doesn't need to worry about the Charlotte Roval next Friday. Believe me, everybody's trying to avoid having to worry about the Charlotte Roval, let me tell you. Heavy lap traffic for your race leader, Matt Smith, but many of them have slightly fresher tires than he does. So he's actually giving up spots, but they're not poor position. He's giving laps back to some of the other drivers around him, and some of them are playoff drivers. One of them right behind him, and that's Timmy Brown in the 19, looking to get one of his handful of laps back here before we begin the final stage. Under 10 to go. And no signs of slowing down so far for your two-time and defending NASCAR Platinum Cup Series champion, Matt Smith. No signs of him giving up any time to the drivers behind him. No signs of the tires giving way. Going to be about 5 to go now, if I were to guess, here as he works his way through turn 1.
I think it's 4 to go.
All right. And coming out of turn 4, he'll see 3 laps to go this time by, so one more lap until pit road is officially closed. If any of these drivers have any doubt about them making it the rest of the way or not, then they need to pit here soon. If they pit after the 2 lap to go signal, they need to pit again at the end of the stage for 4 tires and fuel to avoid any further penalties. And 2 laps to go.
Oh yeah, my bad. I'm off the lead lap, so this is actually the white flag of the stage.
Ah, no worries.
For the leader.
And now the next time by, the green and white checkered flag will be in the air, and evidently the tires and fuel were no problem for your two-time champion, Matt Smith, for Lone Wolf Motorsports, coming out of 4. He wins stage 2 of the Rockstar 400. And I believe it was, yes it was, and Jeffrey Robinson Jr. is going to hold on to second, and that's huge for him. That's 9 points. He needs that. And now, if I'm not mistaken, this is going to trap some cars 1 lap down. I don't know exactly who. We'll get the top 10 from Alex Tesdall, but don't forget to pit, buddy.
Top 10, Flash 9, Juicy J, Trouble, Ghost, Black Cross, NASCAR King Pluto, myself, Beam, and even Steven.
Wow. So Beam fell all the way back to 9th. He must have had to pit very late in the stage. How many cars are on the lead lap?
3.
Wow. Well, we're going to see some wave arounds here. I think some drivers are going to choose...
No, everyone's got to pit. Ghost gets the free pass.
Oh my goodness, no way. And Ghost in 4th is going to get the free pass? Man, that is crazy. And Matt Smith, with the master plan, has trapped many cars 1 lap down here at Richmond Raceway. We are beginning the final stage. The only thing that can save these guys is some yellows. The green flag is back in the air. Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 18 car is your race leader going through turns 1 and 2. Trouble for You is on the lead lap in the 16. And it's Machiavelli Ross in the 77 car on the lead lap as well, but he was the free pass car, so he's at the tail of this group in the blue and red number 77 car. And there they go. Jeffrey Robinson Jr. holding on to the lead, and you really couldn't ask for a better scenario in the final stage for him. He's looking to capture his very first win here in the NOSSCAR Platinum Cup Series. He's got the lead in the final stage at a track he's very good at, with only 4 cars, including himself, on the lead lap. He's got to hold off a 2-time champion, Matt Smith. Right behind him, Josh Cole and Diaz in the 9 cars. The first car 1 lap down, scored in 5th. The 3rd car in line in the Napa machine. Deeper in the field, Timmy Brown got really out of control back there. He made a good save, but nearly made contact with the inside wall. Battles all over the racetrack, action everywhere. It's postseason time, post-playoff time, and these drivers are really driving like it. The level of urgency, the level of intensity, the adrenaline is through the roof. They know that a win locks them into the next round. They know that the top 10 in the stages get them those valuable points. And now they know it's final stage time. It's money time. It's all about trying to find victory lane from here on out. And we have a new race leader out at the front of the field. It's Matt Smith in the 47. Completed the pass there on Jeffrey Robinson Jr. about a lap and a half ago, and now Jeffrey slides back in line into second, just in front of his two teammates, the 24 and the 9. Aaron Garcia, the first car lap down, running in 5th. The third car in line here in this group. Earl Burden in the 16 is the one scored in 3rd, and he's lost touch with the top 2. It's really going to come down now to Matt Smith and Jeffrey Robinson Jr. if this race goes green the rest of the way. We'll throw it down to Alex Tesdahl here. Get a word on how many laps remaining in tonight's event.
71.
And safe to say that we'll see these drivers on pit road 2 times in this stage then, right?
I think it can be done on 1.
Ooh.
You just have to conserve your tires.
Well, that's going to open up the door here for some strategy here perhaps, and that's actually how Matt Smith got here, so it really could fall into the hands of Matt Smith here tonight at Richmond. It's looking good for him. He's got the lead. He's got a car in between himself and Jeffrey Robinson Jr. now. Jeffrey runs in second. Aaron Garcia trying to get up there and take his lap back the old-fashioned way. He's closing in on Matt Smith in the 47. And his biggest fan is his teammate, Josh Colm-Diaz, in the 9. He would love for Aaron to go up there and take his lap back the old-fashioned way, because then that would put Josh Colm-Diaz in the free pass position in 6th instead. A little bit further back, Landon Jenkins runs in 7th. Trey Hollywood runs in 8th. Bean SKP, your Daytona 500 winner, runs in 9th. And there was a problem there for Trey Hollywood coming out of turn 2. Don't think it was...
I'm going to have to correct you on the running order. Pluto's at 7th, Beam's 8th, and myself is 9th.
So where's Hollywood? Hollywood's a couple down?
Yeah, he's a couple down.
Oh, wow. Thank you for the update, and that is a heartbreaking situation actually for the driver of the 48. Trey Hollywood finds himself 2 laps down here in the final stage, and pretty much no chance of getting a free pass at this point, because he's got to get up there and challenge for position with the drivers that are 1 lap down. And there's pretty well no way that he can do that from here. He's going to have to find a way to get one of those 2 back. And a good recovery for our in-race reporter, Alex Tesdahl. It's not where he wants to be, but he's in the top 10. He's only 1 lap down rather than 2 or 3 like some of these others, and he's rebounding for a pretty good points day. And when you're in the round of 16, you really only do need those top 10, top 12 finishes to get your way there. Oh, the problem's over coming out of turn 2. Looked like it was the driver out of Spain there, Pablo Hugo. Got a top 10 finish earlier this season at Road America. It was his best finish here so far in the Platinum Cup Series. Got a little bit of front end damage, but he seems to be okay. Rush Downing goes for a slide on the front stretch in the 34 machine. The Midnight Motorsports entry, and it's breaking news a little bit actually that Crimson Access Motorsports has split off a little bit, has sold some of their charter cars to a different team and has acquired their own. So there's just simply more cars to go around for everyone to drive. And now Rush Downing is spun over in turn 4. That was really close, but he thankfully was able to get it down and out of harm's way. But now he's got it pointed in the wrong direction. This time it's over on the front stretch close to the start-finish line. Going to go through the grass and get it back going again, but that is a heartbreaking situation. Rush finished 18th in the regular season final standings, 2 spots shy of making the playoffs. And at this point, his goal really is to just keep chugging along, finish the season strong, finish where you can in the final standings. Going to go for some top 10 finishes. Emerge back onto the track safely, right near driver of the 17, Alex Tesdahl, and he's going to keep on soldiering forward. Your race leader, the driver of the 47, Matt Smith, and he's done it, folks. The regular season champion, Aaron Garcia, in the 24, has taken his lap back the old-fashioned way, at least for the time being, and now this puts 5 cars on the lead lap, and Josh Colm-Diaz in the 9th. The first car 1 lap down. And this kind of just goes to show you the pace that the 24 and the 9 cars have here tonight at Richmond. It's kind of a shame that they are trapped 1 lap down, because you can clearly see that the 24 would have a great chance of battling for the win here tonight at Richmond. Josh Colm-Diaz would have a top 5 car here. Nevertheless, this is the way it goes sometimes in the world of racing and sim racing. Matt Smith won stage 2 and was able to pull it off without having to come back to pit road, trapped a number of cars 1 lap down, and this is really going to shake things up for when it comes to the playoff point standings at the end of today's race. It's a good battle here for between the 47 and 24. I was going to say for position, because I'm used to saying that these two are battling for position. The 2 drivers with the most wins this season are the 47 and the 24. They combined for a staggering 16 wins in the first 29 races this season. They're batting over 500 together. And now they're side by side, and it really looks like on your screens that it's a battle for the lead, but really it's Aaron Garcia in the 24 trying to take his lap back the old-fashioned way and allow his teammate to ride along in the free pass position should a caution come out. And I like the game plan. I love the effort. I love the heart behind it all, but we're really not looking like we're going to get a caution here. 20 drivers started the race. We've already got 4 off the racetrack, and everybody is pretty spread out around this racetrack. Everyone has different agendas. Everyone's either, lead lap, 1 lap down, 2 laps down. Everyone's kind of on their own agenda. So some drivers find themselves on an island of their own, and they're not battling as hard as they normally do because there's less meaning behind it. Oh, and contact there. Sean Lucas in the 21, Aaron Garcia in the 24. And now Sean Lucas in the 21 drops a 2nd lap down. He is a playoff driver driving for Brett Baker Racing. Going inside the top 15 right now, but really not having the day he was hoping for here at Richmond. And it's Pablo Hugo, the driver out of Spain, the next car to fall another lap to your race leader. He's currently running in the top 12, 1 lap down, but he's going to fall a 2nd one down here in just a couple more laps. The pace that Matt Smith and Aaron Garcia have brought here tonight to Richmond is really staggering here. It's impressive. They've been able to drive away from Jeffrey Robinson Jr., Landon Jenkins, Charles Jackson earlier in this race, and the rest of the field. And again, a shout out to Machiavelli Ross there in the 77 car. He got the free pass at the end of stage 2, finished 4th in stage 2, and was the last car on the lead lap to begin the final stage, and that's where he's running 4th. And now he's really only about the length of the back straightaway away from falling 1 lap down again to your race leader. But the fact that he was able to do that not only gave him great stage points, but it's going to catapult himself into a confirmed top 10 finish, maybe even a top 5 if we run green the rest of the way. And that would absolutely be his career new career best, Platinum Cup Series finish. He's going to be in danger of losing 4th to Aaron Garcia, because that's going to be 4 position. Aaron in the 24 is just in front of your race leader, Matt Smith, and they're the next 2 cars behind Machiavelli, so he is going to lose a spot or 2 before the end of this one, but that strategy is going to be enough, I'm pretty sure, to get him his very first top 10 here in the Platinum Cup Series. And those are the kinds of things you got to do sometimes. If you know you're not going to beat them by doing everything that they do, sometimes you got to go off sequence and try things, do things, and just see if it works out. If it doesn't, you were going to finish back there anyways. And if it does, you could look like a hero. Speaking of heroes, Harold Burden in the 16 car, running in third, having a strong race. Played the strategy right in stage 2, and he's still on the lead lap and running good pace here. If it comes down to some sort of fuel and tire strategy at the end, we know that he's more than capable of pulling it off. It could be a Harold Burden kind of race here at the end of this one here at Richmond for the Rockstar 400. Round 30 of the 2022 NASCAR Platinum Cup Series season. It's our 7th season for Platinum Cup. Started back on NASCAR 15 Victory Edition. We've been crowning champions and putting winners in victory lane ever since. Right now, your race leader, two-time and defending NASCAR Platinum Cup Series champion Matt Smith in the 47. We're going to take a break from commentary. We're going to take you through the field in a crank it up style format here, folks. Add the volume knob, turn it up, and ride along with your favorite NASCAR Platinum Cup Series drivers. We hope you're enjoying your Friday night, and we thank you all for tuning in. And go ahead and crank it back down, folks. We're going to bring you back to full commentary here for round 30 of the 2022 NASCAR Platinum Cup Series season, hosted here on NASCAR Heat 5. It's the second round of 16 playoff race here for these drivers. 16 playoff drivers have a shot to edge their name into glory, folks, into history. And right now they're all chasing the two-time and defending NASCAR Platinum Cup Series champion, Matt Smith in the 47, who leads the way here at Richmond Raceway in the final stage. Going to throw it down to in-race reporter, Triple Crown winner Alex Tesdall, driver of the number 17 Ford Mustang. Alex, last time we checked on you, you were running in the top 10. Where are you running now, buddy, and how many laps are remaining?
Currently running in 8th place, and we have 18 to go. Actually 17, the leader just took 17.
And they're clicking off pretty quickly here, actually. And what I was going to say to you was we've seen everybody that we think needs to pit come to pit road. Do you still think it's possible for these leaders to make it the rest of the way from here?
Oh yeah, for sure we'll make it.
Yeah, everyone's making it, huh? All right, then.
Yeah.
Didn't want... Well, if there was going to be any sort of unexpected surprise at the end, I wanted to be prepared for it, but thank you very much. And that was the word from Alex Tesdall. He's running in 8th, one of our playoff drivers. He's having a good run, having the points day that he needs here at Richmond, and he had a good points day earlier tonight at Chicagoland as well, and getting good information from him there. Under 20 laps to go now, 16 to go, and your race leader, Matt Smith, is clear to go to the end on the tires and fuel that he has. And what a master strategy it was. Let's recap a little bit here. 15 to go. Matt Smith is your race leader, and everyone's probably wondering how he got here. Really, it's no surprise to anybody that Matt Smith is leading this race. He's led a lot of races this year. He's won 9 races this season, and he's going to perhaps win his 10th as well. A bold strategy in stage 2, staying out the entire distance from the latest caution that came out. Trapped a number of cars 1 and 2 laps down, and Matt Smith was fortunate enough to be one of those drivers to make it the entire distance. And not only that, but he won stage 2. And at the beginning of the final stage, rather, we only had 4 cars on the lead lap because of Matt Smith's bold strategy in the second stage. Jeffrey Robinson Jr., Harold Burden, and Machiavelli Ross. Ever since then, we have went for a long green flag run here in the final stage, and the field has spread around the field, or around this racetrack rather. Aaron Garcia in the 24, Josh Colm-Diaz in the 9, Landon Jenkins in the 88. They have been able to come all the way around and pass Machiavelli Ross for position. And Matt Smith is continuing to lead. It was a huge opportunity for Jeffrey Robinson Jr. He's come so close so many times to finding victory lane for the very first time in his NASCAR Platinum Cup Series career. He's a former champion in NASCAR, back on NASCAR 15 Victory Edition and Supercross. And he was looking to finally take all the weight off those shoulders and park in a victory lane here in the Platinum Cup Series. He took the lead at the beginning of the final stage, was one of the 4 cars on the lead lap, was given a perfect scenario to win tonight's race, but the raw speed of Matt Smith here in the final stage has been a little bit too much for Jeffrey to overcome. And he's been kind of just committed and riding around, running that inside line, looking to hold on to finish in 2nd place. Harold Burden survived the stage 2 fiasco, was on the lead lap for the beginning of the final stage, and right now finds himself running in 3rd, having a strong run in the number 16 Chevy Camaro for Air Force Motorsports. Aaron Garcia in the 24 car is the one that's scored in 4th, and he's closing in on the back bumper of the 16 machine, and he might get there in time. It's going to be close. 7 wins this season for Aaron Garcia. Was one of the unlucky drivers to get trapped 1 lap down at the end of stage 2, and since then has just been scratching and clawing to get everything he can here in the final stage. He took his lap back the old-fashioned way from Matt Smith, kind of showing the raw speed that he has here tonight at Richmond. In fact, it was Aaron Garcia in this 24 car that won the Richmond race earlier this year. It's definitely a kick in the shin here for Aaron to be stuck one lap down the way he was, because as I mentioned, took the lap back the hard way, has driven away from Matt Smith a little bit, and solidly runs in fourth. A little bit deeper back we go. We find Josh Colm-Diaz in the 9 car, running in fifth. One of the drivers to get stuck one lap down as well at the end of stage 2. He is your 2021 NASCAR Legend Series champion, also in the Cup cars, just with no stages and no playoff system. He was the highest seeded driver in the playoff point standings coming into the playoffs without a win, and had high hopes of changing the long winless drought that he's been having here in Platinum Cup here tonight at Richmond. It is one of his better tracks. Alex Tesdall and I were talking about it before the broadcast began, actually, about how Josh would be a major factor in this one as long as he can be there on the lead lap at the end. And unfortunately, wild circumstances in stage 2 took him off the lead lap, as well as a number of other drivers who had a good chance of winning this race as well. Another one of them was Landon Jenkins in the 88 car. Another one of them was Trey Hollywood in the 48, as well as our Daytona 500 winner, Beam SKP, in the 14. Even our in-race reporter, Alex Tesdall himself. Under 10 remaining now, and Matt Smith getting closer and closer to another victory here in the NOSSCAR Platinum Cup Series, closing in on what would be career win number 41. And that's not including his Motormaster Series career. Whoa, we got really loose over there on the front straightaway. It actually almost looked like the race was over there. Was that the checkered, Alex?
Yeah, it was.
I'm way off. I'm behind by 10 laps here. The checkered flag is in the air, and the Rockstar 400 has come to a close. Matt Smith from Lone Wolf Motorsports wins here at Richmond Raceway, his 10th win of the season and his 42nd career win here in the NASCAR Platinum Cup Series, showing us why he is the two-time and defending Platinum Cup Series champ, and arguably the favorite to win it all again here this year. We'll hear from him from Victory Lane here in just a matter of moments. Don't forget the photos of the results for me, Alex.
Yep.
You're my wingman here tonight for that. That's for sure. For everything, really. In race reporter, my scoring sheet at the end. I'm Maverick and you are Goose. You might be too young to understand what that means.
No, I get it.
Okay. I heard crickets. So I was like, uh-oh, I lost him. And congrats again to Matt Smith, the driver of the 47. We're going to hear from him here in just a matter of moments. And when Alex gets a moment, he'll let him know to come on in for a post-race interview, so I don't need to put the viewers on a blue screen. We'll pull up his paint job here for the background, and we'll get set to hear from your race winner here tonight. And let him know, yeah, next week. The Roval. And here we are in Victory Lane, and here we meet Matt Smith, the driver of the 47 Chevy Camaro for Lone Wolf Motorsports. Honestly, one of the very best to ever race on NASCAR console games. He's come a long way in a short period of time, and 10th win of the season for him. Punches his ticket into the round of 12 here for the 2022 Platinum Cup playoffs. And it all came with a master plan there, a master strategy in Stage 2. You stayed out the entire length of the stage ever since the most recent caution that occurred in that stage, and you were able to trap a number of cars 1 and 2 laps down, and you really ensured that you had the best chances of winning this race once the final stage began. Describe your race for us. Take us through your day here in the 47 car.
Oh, very exciting. For both races, actually. But, yeah, those couple quick cautions to start stage 2 put me and a couple others in range that we could make it without having to stop again. And if not for that, I think the 24 probably would have ended up winning the race. I don't know if I would have raced it differently had he been on the lead lap, but just different pit strategies there. He was able to get away from me, but car was great. Was able to stay out of trouble. Had a couple incidents happen right in front of Black Cross and I where we had damage, but was able to stick it out and get a big win.
You seem to always be there at the end for these Richmond races, whether you win or you get a podium finish. You just seem to always be a main factor. What is it about Richmond that you enjoy so much?
It's my home track. No,
oh.
it is for real. So I live about 2 hours away, but I just enjoy the harder tracks in general. The ones where you really got to start to play with the throttle coming out of the corners on the long runs. Some are better than others at it, and I think it shows like a lot of good road course racers are also good short track racers just because of the throttle control through the tight corners. And I'm not the best road course racer. I am still improving though, but that and a good balanced car really helped out tonight, and just trying to keep it out of the wall and out of other people.
Well, you did a fantastic job at that. You definitely have found a hot streak here, and it comes at a good time. The playoffs are here. You're on your way to the round of 12. Any tracks coming up that you're excited about to further punch your ticket down the playoff run?
I don't have the schedule directly in front of me, but I'll look forward to whatever track is next. I've actually had a pretty decent streak at road courses recently, although on the carry that forward on a slider, so we'll see what we got next week. I'm pretty excited about it, and then we'll just try to take it one race at a time.
We wish you the best of luck the rest of the way. Congratulations on your Rockstar 400 win here at Richmond.
All right, thank you.
And that was the two-time and defending NASCAR Platinum Cup Series champion, Matt Smith, one of the very best to ever race here on the NASCAR Heat Games, proves it week in and week out every time he comes back here to the Platinum Cup Series races on Friday nights, picking up his 10th win of the season, 42nd in his NASCAR Platinum Cup Series career, and just adding more and more momentum to himself as a driver and to his race team moving forward here in this postseason. And that's going to do it here, folks. We're going to wrap things up from Richmond Raceway, and for final thoughts, we're going to send it over here to Alex Tesdall, the driver of the number 17 Ford Mustang, Triple Crown winner here in NASCAR. Alex, I got a pair of top 10s for you tonight to start the playoffs. It's a pretty good points night for you to begin the postseason. How do you feel going into the Charlotte Roval next week for the round of 16 finale?
Honestly, I never look too forward to road courses, especially that one, but I feel like may have, got enough of a points cushion where I don't have to worry too much. And, at Richmond here, I feel like we probably could have been a little better than P8 if the crazy crap in Stage 2 didn't happen. But all in all, it's probably about a P7, P8 car, but I feel like we could have been a little closer to the lead group if a few things didn't happen.
It seems like you got yourself set up pretty good in the point standings, to the point where all you really need is an average day at the Charlotte Roval, and you should be safe to advance. So in that aspect of it, are you pretty happy and content with how your night went here tonight?
Yeah, pretty good points night. I just, hope it's enough where we don't have to go and worry about it too much at the Roval. Obviously still want a decent run, but hopefully like maybe a 10th to 12th place is enough to get us through.
Good stuff. We wish you the best of luck the rest of the way, and thank you a bunch for being our in-race reporter all season long.
Yep, no problem.
That's going to do it here, folks. Round 30 is in the history books here for the 2022 NASCAR Platinum Cup Series season, hosted here on NASCAR Heat 5. And when it was all said and done, it was Matt Smith parking in the victory lane and rocking the stage here for the Rockstar 400 at Richmond. His home track, folks, something that I often forget. And it explains a lot, his talent and speed every time he comes to this racetrack. From all of us here at NOSSCAR, we are saying so long, and until next Friday at the Charlotte Roval, stay fast, folks.